Good afternoon, everyone. So last week we learned about how we can actually be the best we can be. I mean, and we had some what do I call them? Exercises, license. Does anyone have you said you have an account already? Who else? Do you have an account? At least you've not collected salary since you said. But do you have a designated account now for it? Or you had it before? Eh? No, don't wait for salary to come before you open. Open the account. Open the account. If you spend money you want to use, if it's OPay, go and open the account now. I'm going to ask you next time. Do you understand? Don't wait for salary. When salary comes, those other things you want to buy, they will be on your neck. But the very moment you have that account, just close your eyes and send it. Do you understand? Ah. So, and those videos, has anyone watched any of those videos that I sent? I sent two videos. Has anyone watched it at least once? Yes, I sent it on the link. It means you've not even seen it. How about you? You've watched it. Okay, what about you? Have you watched it? You've not watched it. You've not seen it. Okay, I will send it to the people. So today we are going to be talking about another concept, and it's a build on what we discussed last time. And it's the concept of person. Do you understand? So before we go into the law of personal responsibility, who knows what it means to be responsible? Everybody has said, who has heard of the word responsible before? Let's even start from down. So I will not know. You've heard of it before. Oh, beautiful. Unko, you've heard responsible before. You too. You've heard responsible. Oh, beautiful. So if we are talking about the word responsibility, what does it mean then? Since everybody has heard it before. Don't worry, you can't be wrong. You've used it many times. Haven't you used it many times? Okay. It's what? Yes, getting your duties done. Beautiful. Responsibility, what does it mean? So it's an act of accepting what you've done and what you're supposed to do. Beautiful. Responsibility, what does it mean? Beautiful, very beautiful. It's the act of doing one or two things to get a specified outcome. Miss Favor, beautiful. It's about knowing what needs to be done and taking action to follow suit. So responsibility is has two core aspects to it: response and ability. So basically, responsibility is a measure of your ability to respond to events. That's basically what it is. So how you respond to different events in life will determine your level of responsibility. If your response to events is very positive, then we'll say the person is very responsible. If the response to events is very negative, they will say this person is what? Is not responsible. And it therefore means that responsibility becomes something that is a measure of our response to events, not because of the events. What do I mean? When things happen to us in life, there are always two groups of people. Hmm? There are a group that would always explain why things are the way they are. They explain us. And there are people who are going to be in charge of producing the outcome. Whenever things happen, there are people that take charge and there are people that explain. They are not middle ground. You either take charge or you explain. Which of the two people do you think would achieve more in life? Let me put it in this way. Would achieve more in life. When something happens, some people do things that makes them in charge of that situation, that makes them control the situation. While some people, all they do is they explain the situation. Which of the two people do you think would achieve more in life? The ones that take charge. The ones that take charge. It therefore means that taking charge when something happens is actually what determines the result. His father died, but he decided to learn a skill and he was able to go through school and educate himself and he became successful. Response. His father died, but he started crying and using it as an excuse for not going to school. He joins bad gangs and at the end of the day becomes an armed robber. Same situation, different responses. So what did the first person do that the other person didn't? The first person was took charge. You see the difference? This is very essential. And the law of personal responsibility is all about this. Do you understand? You don't explain results, you produce them. Do you understand? Beautiful, you work for it. You don't what? Explain results. You what? You give results. You own results. Do you understand what I'm saying? And that's what it's all about. It's not about the fact that something happened. It's about the fact that what did you do when that thing happened. That's everything about it. Your ability to understand that for everything that happens in life, there are three things. The first is the event that occurs. The second is your response, and the third is the result. This is how it happens. Many people only look at this event and the result. They forget this. But this response is what determines this result. You understand what I'm saying? If you choose not to respond, it is also a type of response. If you choose to respond positively, it is also what? A type of response. If you choose to respond negatively, it is also what? A type of response. No response is also what? A response. And that response is what determines the result. You know what I'm saying? Clear? Is my message clear? It therefore means that despite our different situations and positions in life, we still have the choice to look into that situation and to make the best out. We still have that opportunity. And even though life will come with the two parts of life, the sweet and the bitter, when those things come, our response is what determines what life will continue bringing to us. Do you understand what I'm saying? Why I'm saying this is this. When you start looking at situations as things that you have control over, it changes everything. You stop looking at yourself like a victim and you start looking at yourself like someone who is in control. And this is the difference between greatness and the person who is a loser. Whenever something occurs that you don't like, something painful, something burdensome occurs to you, what you should ask yourself is what response do I need to give? And I'm going to be explaining this to you in a quick in a few minutes. So when we understand that first aspect, the events, the response, and the result, and how they connect, we'll now come to real life examples to be able to have a better understanding. Now, if for example you're in the sales team, give me an example. We call a customer. The customer doesn't pay. Someone can choose to do nothing about it, which is also a response. And when you ask, the person says, I called the customer didn't pick. What did the person do? The person did nothing about it, and the person explained the situation. But a better way about it is this, and I always call it, I've said it to you before, I call it the 1-3-1. Whenever you have any problem or any challenge, look for three solutions. So instead of talking or thinking about the problem, immediately start training yourself to think of the solution to that problem. Do you understand what I'm saying? So bring about three solutions. What are the three things I can do, three activities I can do to solve this problem, and start doing them one by one. So for example, I called the customer. The customer didn't pick. So what did I do? I called him again 3 times. After that, I sent him an SMS. I sent him WhatsApp message, and I also scheduled another reminder so that I'm going to call him again in the next few hours. What did you do? You took charge. Do you understand what I'm saying? This is what determines and changes everything for us. Do you understand what I'm saying? Now, these two categories of people, the category of the explainers and those that take charge. What do you think the explainer is trying to protect? The one that explains that, there's always this phrase that comes to their mind. Who can mention it? Someone that when you tell the person, you call the customer and say, yes, I've called the customer, it's not my fault. I mean, that's what most people will say. It's not my fault. I've actually called the customer. What are they trying to protect? They say it's not my fault. Yes, but they are protecting something. They are protecting themselves. They are protecting their ego. They are protecting their pride. They are protecting the fact that they didn't do what they felt. They, some of them I even believe they can do more, but they are just trying to protect their what, their own ego. Do you understand? So in the case of the explainers, we find them trying to protect their ego most often than not. But in the case of those who take charge, what do you think they are trying to protect? What are they trying to protect? Someone that when he calls the customer, he doesn't take no for an answer. He does this, 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 he does this. What is he trying to protect? Eh? He's trying to protect the company, yes. What again is he trying to protect? Not losing the customer, yes. What again is he trying to protect? Yes, in specific, but I want a more general. What is he trying to protect? His own ego? No. Such a person is actually trying to protect his control over the situation. Because what he wants to achieve is he wants a specific result. The result is that the customer should pick the call or the customer should make a sale. Okay, if we look at it from that angle, it will be partially acceptable. Do you understand what I'm saying? But the end result that is is not just the evil. The end result for that activity is actually to ensure that the customer makes the sale. Do you understand? The end result is the control over the situation. Do you understand? And this is what differentiates the first person from the second. This person is after control. This person is after results. This person is after growth. Do you understand? Because he knows and he understands that the very moment I'm able to persist, I will ensure that the sale happens. When the sale happens, I grow, I improve, my income improves. Do you understand what I'm saying? But this person, he just believes that I should just do the basic thing, and if they ask me, I've done what I should do. Sha. Do you understand what I'm saying? So he's trying to protect him being blamed. These people find it easy to blame different situations for the result. And that's also a response. So if they tell them sales are slow, they'll say yes, those customers are not serious. If you tell them sales are slow today, those delivery agents today, I don't know what's wrong with them, they are just not delivering today. The person never sees it as okay, the delivery agent that didn't deliver today, why didn't he deliver today? Was it because we sent items to them late? Was it because the customers were not responsive? When the customers were not responsive, what did I do about it? Do you understand? Did I call the customers? How will I prevent this from happening next time? Next time I speak to my customers, I'm going to ask them, is this your most reliable line to call you? Is there any other way we can reach out to you just in case the delivery person is at your door and they are not able to reach you on this line? Do you understand what I'm saying? What are you trying to get? Control and result. This applies to all aspects of life. And this is the mantra I want you to operate with. The mantra that you are the one that decides the outcome you get. You understand what I'm saying? It's yours to decide. If that thing happens, yes, you don't have control over it. When those problems come, you don't have control over them. But the response is what determines what you now have control over them. You understand? You cannot decide whether we will fall or we won't fall. You cannot decide whether the customer will pick the call or the customer will pick the call. But what you choose to do after that event is what determines everything. Do you understand? This is the most fundamental secret to success in anything you want to do. And this is one of the hardest things to do. I must be honest with you. This is the difference between the first class student and the third class student. This is the difference between the excellent performers and those who don't give results. Their response and their ability to respond is their responsibility. And if you are not responsible, you will be able to achieve it. You know what I'm saying, clear? So this is what we are learning today. Personal responsibility, learning to take what? Responsibility. And it's based on what? One thing. What is it? Your response. Your response is everything. Do you understand what I'm saying? Your response is what? Everything. Someone does something to you, yes. How do you respond? Do you look down on yourself? Is that what you do? Do you look down on yourself? If you're looking down on yourself, that's your response. Do you see it as a reason for you to tell yourself this will never happen to me again? And you ask yourself, why did this happen? And you then tell yourself, this will never happen again. And I'm going to do this to ensure it doesn't happen again. And it never does. Do you understand what I'm saying? That is what your choice to do. You know what I'm saying, clear? Hmm? And that's why you will see that a lot of people will face similar situations, but their results will end up being different. You will see that while everybody is clamoring that this Tinubu's regime is hard, is everything, some people are becoming billionaires doing that same thing. So what's the difference? While some people are being in profit, what's the difference? Their response. The response of some is you just start shouting, protesting, complaining. While the response of some is, how can we make the best out of this? What are the things this person is trying to achieve? How can we care ourselves into it? What are the opportunities that lie ahead? What are the challenges people are facing? How can we solve those problems? Your ability to look at events and think in the solution light is everything. You understand what I'm saying? So is the 1-3-1 rule. And it means that for every problem, for every challenge you face, come up with three solutions to that challenge. And you what? And do each of those solutions one at a time and fix the problem. Do you understand? That way it gives you what? An edge. It gives you the opportunity to what? To solve the problem. Is what I'm saying clear. Does anyone understand the concept? Who can give me a brief summary of what we've explained so far? Ivan, please. Okay. No. Beautiful. What about you? Gabriel? Thank you very much. What about you? Solution. Rather than seeing yourself as a victim, you should take charge of what? The situation. Do you understand this? Do you have any questions, any feedbacks, any thoughts regarding what has been mentioned? I don't want today's class to be as long as last week's class. It was a long 1 hour class. I want to keep it short. Hmm? Do you have any feedback so far regarding what has been mentioned? Any question? Any question regarding last week's class? No question. Up to now. Ah, there's problem. Oh. Ah, okay. I will set questions very soon. Yes. And now, you don't have questions. Me too, I will now set out questions like to understand how deep you understand what I mean. I stood there for 58 minutes last week. In this morning. It's because I wanted to impact you. So, okay, give us a summary of what you understand. Beautiful. Thank you very much. So, tell me one way you think you can actually apply that in the next few weeks. Like, okay, if this is something that has been giving me challenge. I think I should using what we've learned, personal responsibility. I'm coming around, though, so start preparing your answers. Eh? Determination, not to please proceed. Explain how. I want you to be practical. Think about it. I want real life experience. Like when I'm going to so place or something happened. Like when I went to GIT, they told me this, and our guy sent me this, and I thought of this. Something practical. Don't. We are not in school. Leave school for school. We are in real life. It's practical. Please give me an example. Mm, 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 mm. Okay, that's nice. Being proactive that as against going later and leaving. Okay. Eh? Were you here or you were gone? Okay, I said that you should give an example of how you intend to practice what you learned. Okay, planning. Okay. Okay. The way they lost school, you want for problem. Ah, you going to pọ̀ jù. Ah, be practical, real life. Like you call customers every day. Tell me how you do it. How do you deal with the delivery partners, your delivery agents? Okay. Mm-hmm. So what challenge do you usually face when you're doing the calls? Beautiful. What are the challenges you are facing on the calls? So what do you do? Good, beautiful. Good, good. Try to reach them again. And that's what I'm saying. Or you send them SMS. Do you usually send them SMS? What kind of SMS do you send them? Like what? What does it contain? Do they usually respond to it? Most of them respond to it. It means it works. What about you? How do you intend to practice? Beautiful. So give us an example. Okay? And does it work? Do you think it would have given, if you didn't do that, you would have gotten a better result as you just calling them once and giving them? Do you think you would have gotten better, as in, you would have gotten as much results if you didn't do all of those things? They would have been gone. Yes. So this is it. And it gives you better control, right? So this is what I'm saying. So this cuts across not just sales, it cuts across different aspects of life. You understand? Every time you find yourself in a hard situation, just remind yourself this is an event, a response is everything. And in fact, it's not too much to remind yourself every morning. I'm responsible for my responses today. No matter what happens, I'm going to make sure that I make the best out of it. And it's in our ability to continually give a positive response to life that ensures that we actually achieve it. Because if no matter what happens to you, you keep on doing those right things that will give you the right results, you're going to get those right results. And if we decide to leave ourselves to our moods and our emotions such that it's only when we are happy we do the right things, when we are sad we fall off, at the end of the day we are not going to be able to achieve much. And when we become unshakable and we become firm in our actions, in our activities, and when we see challenges, we double up on our actions and our activities. It's then we're able to have predictable results. It's then we're able to achieve more for ourselves. And it's then we're going to be able to achieve more than even our peers. You understand? It is very, very, very essential. We take this seriously and we implement it. It's not just about a class, it's about something that we have to embody in our everyday activity when you're happy or when you're sad. Because sometimes when you're happy and when you have anything going on as well, you just don't feel like doing anything. So your ability to ensure that what you are able to keep up with the things you ought to do is what determines your responsibility and is what determines your success at the end. I wish you an amazing week ahead. Since you don't have questions or feedback, I assume you understand. By next week, I'll come prepared with questions. Test you like, okay, the first week we said this. What do you understand by this? You said this. What do you understand by this? It's going to be more of you people coaching me regarding what we've learned in the first 2 weeks. I think that will make it me, my mind at rest that what I said you understood. Do you understand? So I wish you the very best with that. Thank you very much for your time and have a wonderful day. Just on time. 30 minutes.